It's like when you go to a Home Depot and you see, you're buying a fan for your stove and you see good, better, best kind of thing. Sometimes the treatment that you are implementing is even less than good. As a matter of fact, I was talking to someone this morning, and you do a project sometimes, you do an inch of overlay or something like that, and you come back a year or 2 years later, the pavement looks exactly like it looked before you did the treatment. So in essence, you just spent money
To do it twice.
doing nothing.
Yeah.
Right? So you make it look good for 1 year and then you're back.
Down the line.
So that's where that came from.
What is the current state of the Thruway system? We hear so much emphasis is put on the construction of the Mario Cuomo Bridge, where its condition, the Thruway's condition is most healthy. Where is it most strained or corroded? We can start with you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here. This on, right?
Yeah,
I can't tell from here.
you can hold it real close and you don't have to worry about it.
So, the Thruway, as everybody knows, was built over 60 years ago, 65 years ago or so, during the 50s. So the system is pretty old. If you look at divided into two asset types. So you have the pavements, which about 10% of the original pavements have been replaced. So 90% of it is the original pavement underneath. It's a concrete. It's been overlaid and some work has been done on it, but it's still the original pavement. And then with the bridges, you have 809 bridges, and I think about 20% of them have been replaced. So over 600 bridges are at least 60 years old. And I always ask people the question, how long does a bridge last? And does anyone know the answer to that, how long a bridge lasts?
As long as you're keeping it up.
Exactly. I mean, if you look at the Brooklyn Bridge, it's going to last forever, right? But your Vanilla Bridge, which is basically most of the Thruway bridges, anecdotal evidence and history shows you that it doesn't last more than 100 years. So basically, in the next 35 or so years, you have to replace all the bridges on the Thruway. Otherwise, what happens if you don't replace them is you end up spending a lot of money maintaining them to the point where it really doesn't make any sense because of the staff hours and the money that you're spending. It just doesn't make any sense.
The Thruway is not nearly as good as it should be. It's a premium roadway, a facility where customers pay. Some would argue, in addition to their tax base and their regular contributions to the fundamental purposes of government, they have to go and pay a toll to ride on this facility. And historically, it has maintained a much better profile of condition rating. The pavement, the bridges have typically been in better condition when compared to other facilities like it, other toll roads around the country, but certainly other roads around the state that don't enjoy that additional expenditure. And unfortunately, I don't...
That's where, and that's cumulative. So every year we're underinvesting by $120, $130 million over time. It adds up. I think the maintenance on the Thruway is pretty good, actually, and that's the only reason really that you see that the bridges are, safe and in as good of a shape as you can be with the level of investment that is made. But it's not enough. I looked at a pavement section that was in Rochester at the time, so I worked with the Buffalo division, and I had them quantify for me the amount of money they're spending in staff hours and material, because we were trying to delay the project, push it out, because we didn't have the money to do it. And if you add up all the amount of time you're investing in it and the amount of money, it really makes 0 sense not to do the project.
You need to raise money. It's a toll road. It's right there in the name. So that would indicate that we need to have in order to have a sustainable set of infrastructure conditions across this super highway, we need to have a regular interval of investment. And in order to make the kinds of significant investments that Mike is talking about to keep the system in a state of good repair, you need to have a steady stream of revenues to support that. And instead, for many years, we were going in the opposite direction. We actually cut hundreds of millions of dollars out of the capital investment program, in large part to focus on the biggest money generator on the facility, but also the heaviest used segment of the Thruway, the new New York Bridge. So that's where that political